Morning everybody, welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 16th of November 2024. Trump chooses guys he likes and many say yikes. Welby bows to the pressure and takes a hike, and Lineker says when he'll hang up his mic. Scholz does something Zelensky doesn't like, and Ukraine suffers an airstrike spike. In Paris, Starmer is statesman-like, but in Wales he has to get on his bike as farmers dislike their impending tax hike, and some threaten to strike. So it's hold on to your hats. The Donald is back, the Trump roller coaster back on the track. He doesn't enter the White House until next year, but already his intentions are becoming clear. This week he made most of his top team picks, and predictably it's an unpredictable mix. Some might say the cabinet Trump's chosen to choose is made of some planks and a few loose screws. But from what we know of Trump's short fuse and his off-the-wall views and desire to not lose, anyone who shows dissent, Trump will find an excuse to decide that they have outlived their use. But until they are pushed or decide to jump, this pack of cards is to be Trump's top trumps. It includes an Attorney General who's been accused of some bad stuff, including sexual abuse. There's a Defence Secretary who seems to be sold on the idea that women shouldn't have combat roles. There's a guy in charge of health who's a vaccine skeptic and holds views on health not widely accepted. And energy has been given, wouldn't you just know, to a fracking company CEO. These represent just a small cross-section of the President-elect's team selection. And then there's Elon Musk, the tech billionaire, entrepreneurial genius, devil-may-care, now Trump's efficiency czar with the baseball cap, chosen to cut jobs and red tape and also the crap. For 16 years Germany had been a steady ship during Angela Merkel's leadership, but since 2021 when Mutti stepped down, Olaf Scholz's ship has somewhat run aground in an uneasy coalition which last week fell apart when the finance minister was told to depart. Scholz and Lindner, with different ideology, could not reconcile how to boost the economy, so Lindner's party quit the coalition, leaving Scholz in charge from a minority position. A minority government, it's widely known, such a thing leads to a government not really functioning. And some question whether Scholz's lame duck position might have contributed to his surprise decision to phone Putin on Friday to, it seems, implore, "Please, Vlad, baby, can we have no more war?" They say war can only be ended by George Orr, but Scholz's phone call caused outrage and uproar. Zelensky certainly had some cause to groan, thinking too much respect for Putin had been shown. Scholz had opened a Pandora's box, he said. Diplomatic speak for you must be out of your head. The West's plan has always been to have Putin ostracized, but Scholz had shown weakness in the enemy's eyes. And Putin, sensing signs of NATO cracks, followed up with a weekend of relentless attacks, vicious bombing of Ukraine every hour and minute, and as usual civilians were not off limits. On Tuesday, in a couple of contrasting cases, came the end of an era for two well-known faces. Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, has stuff from his past that he just can't bury. When he took up the top church job in 2013, the Church of England knew what John Smythe had been. So Welby must have also known what we all now know. The late Smythe was the church's most prolific pedo. The Christian charity workers' regime of violence was covered up for years in a cloak of silence. Young boys had been beaten within an inch of their lives, and it seems that one didn't actually survive. In the early 80s, as the net was closing in and people were close to revealing Smythe's sins, the church packed him off to Zimbabwe for him to continue on his deviant and dark way. What exactly Welby knew and when is conjecture, but his response was less action, more just gesture. And so Welby, after much procrastination with a sense of resignation, offered his resignation. Meanwhile, Gary Lineker's resignation declaration came after months of postulation and speculation. In recent years, many had made much of his pay, the Beeb's highest earner as host of Match of the Day. And recently, he tested the station's patience with his online political observations. Probably Leicester City's most famous son, an epic playing career, though not many cups won. Soon after it ended, his journey had begun, fronting a Match of the Day for a 25-year run with pundits and puns and a sense of fun. But at the end of this season he'll be done. But for those who think it's all over, think on. He'll host the 26th World Cup before he's gone. From sombre sobriety to fire and anxiety, a Prime Minister's lot is one of variety. On Monday, Sir Keir visited Macron in Paris and attended the Armistice Day ceremony, the first PM since Churchill in 1944, to go to France to mark the end of the First World War. Contrast with Saturday, when Sir Keir closed his week with an invite to the Welsh Labour Conference to speak. Then from Llandudno he fled to escape the drama of a mob of very irate farmers, pleading for the government to relax or axe the imposition on farms of inheritance tax that Reeves put in her budget and Starmer backed.